Chair, you have a quorum present.
Good morning, everyone. I am Councilmember Byron Amos, Chair of the City Council Transportation Committee. I'd like to officially call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to introduce my colleagues. To my far left, have our newest member of the team, Councilwoman Wyckoff. As she moves to her seat, we'll have our Vice Chair, Councilwoman Carrier Overstreet, and then, of course, to my right is Councilmember Dozier. First, make a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
One moment.
There it is. Okay.
Affirmative.
The vote is open.
Second.
Yes,
All right.
Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda has been adopted.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The minutes have been approved.
Okay. Thank you. That takes us to our public comment. Don't have anyone signed up for public comment, but have a lot of people signed up for the public hearing. So is there anyone that want to speak for public comment? Okay. Did you sign in on I just need to transfer your name. Yes. Okay, Ms. Green, you can come on up, please. You have 3 minutes. Okay.
In the naming of portion of Prior Street for Michael Langford. Michael dedicated most of his life to this community. He supported many activities, and it was an honor and a privilege to work with him sometime. As you know, he worked with the missing children's.
Excuse me, ma'am. We have a special session for public hearing to speak to that matter. Okay. So, I mean, you're on the list for public hearing, so we can bring you up then.
Okay.
But it's no problem. No problem at all. I get confused too. So, anyone here for public comment? All right, seeing none, that'll take us to our public hearing. Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 4 yeas, 0 nays. The public hearing is now open. Mr. Chair, may I sound the caption for this item?
Proceed.
Item number 125-01436, an ordinance by Council members Antonio Lewis, Byron D. Amos, Andrea L. Boone, and Marcy Carrier Overstreet, as substituted and amended by Transportation Committee to rename a portion of Pryor Road Southwest and Pryor Street Southwest, extending from Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard Southwest to Lakewood Avenue Southwest as Michael Langford Drive, to waive certain provisions of Section 138-8 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances and for other purposes.
Is there a need to amend this?
Mr. Chair, we can amend after the
public hearing. Okay, so we're now in public hearing in which you still have your 3 minutes to speak. Like I said, I have a exhaustive list here, so I'll start from the top with Mr. John Cobrath.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Transportation Committee. I sit on the board of the directors for the United Youth Adult Conference as the chairperson, and I also sit on the committee for the renaming of the portions of Pryor Road to the Michael Langford Drive. I don't have time enough here today to express all of the things that Michael Langford meant to this community and what he did for this community and what he did for the residents of the city of Atlanta, as well as what he did when he worked in city government. But we do know that he is a name that needs to be recognized beyond his work that he did. And one of the ways that it can be done is that this committee would simply vote yes for this resolution, this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. I also see in the audience we've been joined by an esteemed former member of this body, Council Member Derek Bozeman. I know you'll definitely want to address the crowd. You can at this time, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of this Transportation Committee. It is a point of just personal pride for me to stand before this committee. As a former member of this council, I stood sit in those seats that you sit in, and I was able to see the renaming of several streets and parks and other city facilities for individuals who deserved it. I had the great fortune to know Michael Langford from the time I was about 17 years old. I met him and his brother Arthur, who was the associate pastor at West 100th Street Baptist Church, under the leadership of Rap David Abernathy. My life was changed. Mentorship matters, and Mike was not only a colleague and a friend, but was a mentor. Mike and Arthur Langford went to Morris Brown College, and I went to Morris Brown College. Arthur Langford was elected to the Atlanta City Council at age 23. I was elected when I was turning 29, 30 years old. I had in them folks who lived in my neighborhood in the Joyland community, born and raised, and I lived in the village, Betmar, right next to them. And so I had an example of what real leadership looked like. Probably one of the greatest services the city have ever seen is Michael Langford. From this building, I had the great privilege to serve on city council when he was the director of the mayor's office of community affairs. I watched him work for this city in ways that just did not make sense. Got an opportunity to follow him to everything from the shooting in Buckhead, where the mayor told him, go and just see what happened there, to saw him give thousands and thousands of fans to seniors. Saw him create what we now celebrate as the Mayor's Senior Ball, and saw his work in the communities for the least, the lost, and the left out. There's no greater honor that we could pay, because here's the reality. Michael Langford wouldn't have wanted this done for him, but it should be done. We should have monuments built to those whose sacrifice suggests that they should be 50 years from now, somebody should look up at that sign and ask, who was Michael Langford? And the statement should come back was, he was one who always gave more than he ever took, that he served the people and he loved the people so much. And his loss was a tremendous blow to this city, not to just these young people and organizations that he served, but to the city of Atlanta. In fact, Mayor Dickens had only been elected 2 days when he came to say that, spoke at Michael's service to say this was an important work and he should be remembered for the work he did. So as we say in the hymn, may the work he's done speak for him. But the city council also can speak by affirmatively renaming a portion of Pryor Road for Michael Langford. And I would ask that you would give due consideration. I was honored to serve as chair, and I want to thank President Shipman for the appointment of the commission that came up with these recommendations, which you have in writing in front of you. And there were several recommendations, but this was the highest. I would also end by this note that one of our great friends, the former Senator Vincent Ford, who served on this committee by appointment by the mayor, even in his sickness, he did not miss a single meeting. And he knew that it was important that somehow this street be renamed, and that Michael Langford's legacy continues to endure. So I ask for your favorable consideration to move the legislation forward with an affirmative vote, and I thank you for the privilege of just addressing you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next on the list, Reverend Motley.
I simply want to echo the sentiments of my good friend, Councilman Bozeman, and to my Councilman Byron, all of the council persons. I associate myself completely with the sentiments of Bozeman, I call him Big Bowes, and appeal to you. And I know that you will be affirmative. Dr. Durley is here and so many others who knew Michael and who were beneficiaries of his kindness and of his activism. What I loved about him was just simply that it was not just a matter of acts, it was a matter also of attitude. Michael possessed all of that. He had the right attitude that led to his actions. He was a lover of God and humanity, and he demonstrated that in the things that he said and in the things that he did. So please do give him the honor that you can give him, you can bestow upon him, and upon his legacy of love and service by naming a portion of Pryor after this great leader, after this great human being, after this great activist who is right in the line and right in the company of all of those who, his brother, to be sure, Arthur, along with Dr. King, Dr. Laurie, Vivian, he's right there in that company. So God bless you, and thank you for what you're going to do for this incredible brother and this incredible man of God. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next on the list, Trinity Covington.
Good morning. My name is Trinity Covington, and this summer I did the Arthur and Michael Langford Teen Leadership Institute. And although I never had the honor of meeting Mr. Michael Langford myself, I feel like I have met him through the people I met through the Teen Leadership Institute. It shows how much he loved this community and how much he wanted to pour into the youth like me and make a change. And I feel like someone of his character should have something in his honor that shows his memory so people still remember him and his works. He did love his community so much, and I can see that even though I never got to meet him. The Teen Leadership Institute changed me for forever, and I'm truly glad I got to experience it. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Taylor Graham.
Good morning. My name is Taylor Graham, and over the summer I was a part of the UYAC, also known as the United Youth Adult Conference. Michael Langford founded that same conference in 1979. Over the summer, I learned how he believed in molding our younger generation into the next future leaders. Through the program, I have earned connections, responsibility, and knowing what it takes to become a leader. This program has continued his legacy to shape young voices, and which is carried on by his family and friends, which I have grown to love. Changing the Road will honor his legacy of service, leadership, and community. Even though I did not get the chance to meet him, fortunately, his legacy has left me forever changed. And I'm forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Green, Loretta Green.
Sorry about that. Good morning again.
Good morning.
I'm here in support of naming Pryor Street after Michael. I was honored to be on the commission for him. As Minnie has already said, Michael was an outstanding committed. Michael did many things for this community. He supported the youth as well as everyone else in the community. And he was called on many times to do things that probably someone else would not have done. So I'm not going to repeat everything that's been said about him. His work speaks for himself. But as a longtime member of the community, I've been a member in Atlanta since 1973. I strongly support this ordinance and think it would be fitting to name it after Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Andre McCary. Andre McCrary. Okay. Wendy Bailey. Wendy Bailey? Oh, okay.
Hello. Well, some years ago, my son participated in the summer program that these wonderful teens came up and spoke about. And I noticed a change in what he discussed with his own peers. He actually, what I appreciate about the program as a parent is that I saw my son really value reading other than us nagging him at home about reading. He actually learned from gentlemen who were readers, avid readers, and he discussed some of what he read over the in the program with his peers who did not have the pleasure of being a part of the program. So I just wanted to share that. I appreciate the program.
Thank you, ma'am. Marion Poe.
Good morning. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting Michael Langford personally, but I had the pleasure of benefiting from his work, the people that he served, the people that he touched, and just being a witness to his impact, not only in the city of Atlanta, but the souls and hearts and minds of the people that build this city and will continue to build this city. So I highly support the recommendation that's put forward to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's Evan Flanagan.
Good morning. I am Evan Flanagan, and I was in the Leadership Institute this summer, and I would like to say that I have not met Michael Langford, but I will say that through the crew that he had and everybody that was in the Leadership Institute, I met his love. I let all the activities he did, and I seen it for myself. And not one day did we go not talking about it. I had to learn about him myself, and when I did learn about him, I learned what a true leader was through him and to his brother too. And I just think that naming this road after him would be a great honor, and I think it's very fitted for him. And that's all I wanted to come up here and say.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Maurice Morris. Vanessa Coggin, I'm sorry. Vanessa.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vanessa Cox Logan, and I was born to a 14-year-old teenage mother who already had a child before me. I'm saying that to say who Michael Langford was to me. Michael Langford was my daddy, my father, my uncle, sometimes my granddaddy. He instilled in me to be on time, I must be ahead of time. He told me to never send my lunch home with a hungry man. And he said, if not you, then who? And I've been in service ever since. He has educated me, my children, and now my grandchildren. So as Mr. Bozeman always tell us, people who deserve long speeches, y'all know the rest. He gets more than a speech. So there's no better, if we could give him more than just a street, which I think is fitting that someone said a monument, that we couldn't give enough. You can't be, the only person I know who can be given with Michael Langford is God. You just can't beat his giving, because I do it every day. I try. And I just can't beat his giving, but he set the goal for me. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Ania Moore.
Hello, you all. It's Anya Moore. I am the fiance of Arthur Langford, Michael Langford's son. I just want to say that I've been working at West Care, Georgia, part of his legacy for the past 2 years. In that environment, all we do is work with the community. All we do is meet new people. All we do is show up and give. And everywhere I've gone, I've heard beautiful stories about Michael Langford. Everything about his legacy is just a man who was joyful, a man who was loving, a man who walked like Christ, a man who had fruits of the Spirit. I have never heard a negative thing about this man. And when you meet people, it brings joy to them to talk about him. His legacy is beautiful. His family is beautiful. What he is doing in the community still with the youth that I have worked with at the UIAC program is beautiful. The fact that they can come up as 15, 14, 16-year-olds and talk about somebody they have never met in such high esteem should talk about it in itself. But I am excited for what I know is going to happen. So I thank you all for being a part of his legacy right now, and I thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you. Can't make out the last name, but Angie?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ange Kwam. I am very happy to be able to be here today and actually have a word to say. I've also been working at Westcare, Georgia for almost 2 years now. I started as an intern, and now I have a full-time position. We thank God. I just want to say, I've always worked with kids. I love working with kids, and I know this is something that Mr. Michael loved doing, working in the community, and I love that I'm able to do that as well at this time, just to keep his legacy going, just be a part of the legacy. And I would really appreciate for you guys to also see the goodness and everything he have done and everything we are doing to keep the legacy going as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anastasia Getz.
Hello, yes. I also work at Westcare, and I am actually relatively new, starting in January, so I never got to meet him. However, before this, I have not really been involved in a community growing up, but being able to work at Westcare, Georgia, and being able to engage with the community has really changed my perspective on everything and really given me a passion to continue in this work and continue to provide for the community. So I really wanted to show my support for this motion and support Michael Langford.
Thank you. Michael Langford Jr.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, I'm gonna be brief. I just want to say that growing up, I witnessed how much my dad gave back to the city and how much he loved the city and his people. And I just want to say that it'd be an honor if it was able to give back to him. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Chuck Barlow Sr.
To the council members and for those who are here today for this special occasion, I had the pleasure of attending Morris Brown with Arthur Langford. He was my classmate, and his brother came later. But that family was always involved in the community, always giving, always willing to go. And I remember Arthur, when he came to Morris Brown, he was already ready to go back to the community. I think he came to Morris Brown just to get strengthened to go back to the community. But I have a poem that I think describes Michael, and it would probably describe Arthur as well. It says, the best use of your life is to live your life so that the use of your life outlives your life. And I think that kind of demonstrates what kind of person Michael was in terms of giving. I think at his homegoing, when people talked about him and what he did, he was forever giving. His cup was never empty. And if it was empty, he reached somewhere else to get the energy to even do more. And I think he was a tremendous model, and I really support naming a portion of that street so that he can be remembered when people look up and they should ask the question, who was this man? Thank you.
Reverend Daniel Dixon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, good morning. To our council and chair, I'm very glad to be here to speak on behalf of Michael Langford. I pastored the church in the Georgia Land community. I came here like 47 years ago as the associate pastor, and Michael Langford, when I became pastor of the church, Michael Langford looked out for people that had no voice. 3 years ago, the average salary in Georgia Land was $29,000 a year. And when you have $29,000 a year salary, I don't care where you are, you have no voice. But Mike was our voice. He spoke for us. And Mike put his life on the line also. The crime rate that was so high, FBI told me personally, in your community, based on population, your murder rate is the 16th highest in the United States of America. I called a prayer meeting one night, never had a 30 prayer meeting. Everybody showed up. Bill Cameron told Mike to tell me, don't do it, you'll get killed. Mike said, I'm going with you, Reverend. We did it. And that crime rate come way down because of him. I had seniors that could not sleep in the bed. Had to sleep on the floor because the bullets going through their windows. And Michael with Derek and the mayor helped me bring that crime rate down. We had the march, they wanted to put my wife and children in the middle because it says they might take you out. But Michael and I and Derek stood on the front line for that community. And we pushed and pushed and pushed. So Michael had a voice for those that had no voice. And he pushed that voice well. Pryor Road community was all messed up. Bad apartments, a high point had gone from top to bottom. Lakewood Village was slum. But look at it now. Look at it now. Derek and Michael worked with City Hall to make that community livable, where worthwhile being there, and no one's ashamed to be there. There's no one who passed away they didn't go and deserve this title any more than Michael Langford, because no one had did for the city, nowhere north, south, east, or west, any more than Michael Langford. And when I became the pastor of the church, Michael, I was going to Luther Wright Seminary, Beulah High Seminary, but I wanted to get in the streets. That was years ago, and Michael, the one led me out there, he and Derek. And I want to thank God for them. I learned the city real well. And that also one of the things, Michael was comfortable everywhere he was. Michael was in a $29,000 neighborhood or $10 million neighborhood. He was Michael because he believed what he did. He was authentic in everything he said and did. And he helped my community so many times, put on things for children. Now he would help and send people to help me, and then he would also give money to it. And no one had did more for our city than Michael. And being born in a historic neighborhood, they care for one another, and then they had a great impact. So I see my time about up, but I'm gonna say the one thing now: going to the word of God on us. It was based on size. Can anything come out of Nazareth? Yes. Now I don't mean Jesus Christ. I mean Jesus Christ had a man just like he was to come out of Nazareth and do a work that blessed us. I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not at you all or anything. If you all don't name it out of him, something wrong with y'all. Thank you.
Miltina Frazier.
Good morning, all. My name is Miltina Frazier, and I met Mr. Langford because I was working when WestCare first started. The reason why WestCare is a bigger entity, but the reason why I came to Georgia and to help youth in the community was because of Mr. Langford, because of what he was doing in regards to sex trafficking, drug abuse, and just supporting youth in Atlanta and Georgia as a whole. That has been over 20 years. And the reason why, when you work for a nonprofit and you're doing community work, it's never about the money, it's always about the mission. And that was always what Mr. Langford taught. I wasn't originally from Atlanta, but when I started working, he literally literally took us in the car and drove us all around. He introduced us to all of the areas. He introduced us to all of the people because he was like, this is what you have to do to be a servant leader. So I'm coming here to support the renaming of certain parts of Pryor Street to Michael Langford Drive, because he always made sure to stay in that community and service it. We have been in different buildings, but when he went out to look and see how we needed to expand, he made sure that our presence was there because that was the part of the community that was needed. And that's the reason why a lot of us are still here. His legacy still trails the hallways of our buildings. We have new staff that have never met Mr. Langford. However, they feel the legacy that he made and the mission for why we do the work that we do here for over 20 years, not only in Georgia, but our primary focus is Atlanta. So I'm asking you to please take into regards of everything that you're hearing here today, how he has brought jobs, companies, and people supporting right here in Southwest Atlanta in the renaming for Michael Langford Drive. Thank you.
Mike Weaver.
Good morning.
Morning.
Since everybody is throwing out Michael Langford-isms, this is one that I hadn't heard in a while. Langford would say, if you see a turtle on the post, you better believe he didn't get there by himself. If you ever see a turtle on a post, do know that that turtle did not get there by himself. My name is Mike Weaver, and I came to Atlanta scared. Country boy, South Carolina, 1982. Somewhat at the height of the missing and murdered. Enrolled in Morehouse College and stayed within the confines of the campus because my mother said that Atlanta is not safe. But went on to finish Morehouse, and during that period of trying to have financial challenges getting back into school, did a lot of work in community and somehow latched myself to Derek Bozeman, who was SGA president at Morris Brown at the time. We know where we're going now, right? Because when you get on that Bozeman train, you can't help but get on that Langford train as well. So as I was sort of finding my way in Atlanta, there was no doubt to have great mentorship, leadership, friendship than that of Derek Bozeman, and ultimately with Michael Langford himself. Began working with the United Youth Adult Conference, served as the lead facilitator for a number of years, working closely with Langford, with the young people. Dr. Keenan Walker is in that capacity now. And now I'm with WestCare, an organization that Michael Langford obviously worked for, and you heard from some of my staff as we continue to do the work of Michael Langford. So I'm not going to be long-winded. I simply want to say that that section of Pryor Road that should be named Michael Langford Drive is deserving. Again, I will attribute a lot of my work in community. I have a doctorate in public health, University of South Carolina, but for everything that I've done here in Atlanta has been attributed to the likes of Michael Langford. I live right there off of Metropolitan Parkway, have been there since 1993. And I still live off of Metropolitan Parkway. I'm still very much in District 12, still very much in the community. So again, it would be an honor to see that section of Pryor Road renamed Michael Langford Drive. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. That brings us to the list of the people signed in for public hearing. Make a motion to exit public hearing.
One statement, we got a letter from.
I withdraw that motion. Go ahead and read the letter.
Willie Watkins reached out to our office and he wanted to make sure that we put his name. He was not able to be here, but he's fully in support of Michael Langford, at Pryor Road being changed to Michael Langford.
Thank you. Now make a motion to exit the public hearing. Motion made in second. Okay, let me withdraw that motion again. You draw your second.
My name is Gerald Dirty, Pastor Marison.
Yeah, I need you to the mic, sir.
Somebody said, "Be ye not weary in well doing, for you will reap in due season." It's due season now for Michael Langford. This is his name to be placed. I just rise and I thank you for the opportunity. On behalf of the concerned black clergy of Atlanta, all of the churches that Michael made so much of an impression in my life, and I'm just going to get up and just say, I second the motion for the renaming or the naming of this street. I just rise to second the motion because I know how it's going to come out positive.
So I'm going to do probably something unprecedented. Is there anyone that didn't sign up that wants to sign up?
Unprecedented.
Very unprecedented.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see 3 people. Okay, good. Go ahead, sir.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Arthur Langford. I'm the son of Michael Langford. And it's a few things I want to touch on that if you were ever met Michael Langford, that you will understand. One was that he was an avid man of God. Nobody could say that they met him and didn't get some scriptures, didn't get some music, you know what I'm saying, through text message, anything like that. So you understood that he was a man of God. Secondly, to be a part of the Langford family, you understood that service was a requirement. It wasn't an option. He often went and said, to whom much is given, much is required in return. So as a Langford family, wherever you saw Michael Langford, many times you see today, Kathy Langford, Gloria Langford, Michael Langford, wherever he was, that's where we were. So even growing up as a kid, I'll give you a short story. I remember there was an insurance company who they were doing, I won't name them, but they were doing something like raising the prices for elders. And we were out there, I was a young kid, we were shame on them. Shame on them. We got back to the car, asked my dad, well, Dad, who insurance do we have? The very one that we were protesting, he said, I hope they don't drop us from the insurance. So from that lesson, what I learned is it don't matter who you are. Right is right, is wrong. So that's what Michael Langford stood for. And just on behalf of the Langford family, it would be a privilege if you all would do this for us. Thank you.
So before you start speaking, I don't have the people in line name. I'm going to put the sign-in sheet on that counter there. I need you to sign in as you begin to speak.
Yes, sir.
And then I see the young man in the back with dress. You the last one in line? That's it. You the last one, sir. Thank you. So yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. I am Asaya Royal. I am a 2022 alumni of the Arthur and Michael Langford Teen Leadership Institute. That happens to be the year right after he passed. But fortunately, his legacy it touches so many lives in the community, his family, and even people that he has not met. And I was able to experience the fruit of his labor, one of the many fruits of his labor, the Leadership Institute. And the Leadership Institute has undoubtedly changed my perspective on life, my perspective as a young woman, a young black woman in Atlanta, and has given me a new motivation on how to carry myself. And it's a sense of pride to be able to, one, say that I'm an alumni, and it gives me motivation to strive for greatness and to even be in positions like where you all are as council members and to impact my community as the way that Michael and Arthur Langford have done so themselves. And just the community that is built within the Leadership Institute and how once we graduate, we don't disconnect. There's always a sense of family, a sense of love. The hugs stay the same as soon as we greet each other. And I'm just so proud to be an alumni, you know, and it would be a great honor if you all would rename the street after Michael Langford.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
Mr. Chair, distinguished members of the committee and council, and to all assembled within. Street renaming is sacred work. It is not to be done lightly. An act of remembrance done with care. It does not erase history, rather it updates it and uplifts it. We have witnessed this transformation throughout our beloved city of Atlanta. From Confederate generals to civil rights soldiers, from Simpson to Boone, from Bankhead to Hollowell, from Ashby to Lowry, from Hunter Street to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, from Gordon to Abernathy, and now in that noble tradition, from Pryor to Langford. In honoring Michael Langford, we honor a man who walked these streets with purpose and compassion, always standing for what was right and just. And so we asked your thoughtful consideration in recognizing this city's warrior, whose legacy continues to guide us towards a more equitable and united Atlanta. For all of us who love Atlanta, we urge your support of this ordinance. Thank you.
Good morning. We are St. Paul AME Church on Pryor Road, and we would like to say that we'll be more than happy to have this street named. I just want to give a little backstory. We talk about his legacies and all these things that have happened, but I came to Atlanta in 1972, when everything started rolling. I met Derek Bozeman. They were young boys then. They were young kids. Arthur Langford and all these guys was up and moving, and that's what makes Atlanta great today. We had Maynard Jackson as our assistant mayor at that time, and these black men really worked, and they made Atlanta what we can be happy and proud of right now. So as a church on Pryor Road, Arthur Langford Boulevard, we'd be more than happy for the name change. Thank you.
Give us your name, sir.
Oh, I'm Charles Piegler.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Reverend Sean Drains, and I am the senior pastor of St. Paul AME Church on Pryor Road. It was once quoted, "No one who achieves success does so without the help of others." If you look around this room, you see a lot of successful African Americans, but we didn't get here by ourselves. We got here with the help of Brother Michael Langford, and I asked this committee, the councilman, to consider renaming Pryor Road, a portion of Pryor Road, after him. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in line to give us your name, please, sir.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Derek Gabby George. I'm the Executive Director of Doing Good Among People. I'm a 54-year resident of the south side of Atlanta, Pryor Road to be exact. I grew up in the Carver Homes, Joyland, Lakewood area. And I work every day hard to make life better for other people. And a great reason why I do what I do is coming up behind guys like Derek Bozeman, Langford. I had the honor of meeting Michael Langford, even his brother Arthur Langford. Some of these people here never met him, but they was touched and impacted in a positive way from the work that he's done. And many people say that I work hard or they see the work that I do, but it's because I'm following those guys there. So I definitely stand in support of the renaming of that part of the Pryor Road. I can't say anything that none of these wonderful people haven't already said, but I stand with them 10 toes down. So I'm here with you, Brother Derek, and the rest of the community.
Thank you. Mr. Walker.
Good morning. My name is Keenan Walker, and I am, just to hear my babies up here from the Leadership Institute speak, you have to understand, like, Reverend Motley, who's in the audience, I was actually named the leader of the Institute at Reverend Motley's church. Rev Abernathy III, he was giving his last sermon. And Brother Bozeman, Baba Jihad, myself, we had come to church, and I remember Joseph E. Boone's wife was there, and Michael introduced me to Mrs. Boone, and then he introduced me to what we call the Cornerstone, his mom. And he said, "Mama, this is the new lead instructor of the Arthur Langford Teen Leadership Institute." And Micah and I had not ever spoken a word about me becoming the new leader of the Arthur Langford Teen Leadership Institute. So Derek Bozeman, I know, had something to do with that. Now that I heard Dr. Michael Weaver come up here, I wouldn't be surprised if he had something to do with that. And looking around the room at all of his sisters, I'm quite sure they might have had a little hand in that. But I want to say, to honor Michael Langford, I would have to use one of my favorite quotes by Aristotle. He says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." Let me repeat that in honor of my good brother. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Mike wasn't in the habit of acting. If he told you he was going to do something for you, he did it. As a founding member of Let Us Make Man, who pretty much meets right off Pryor Road every Thursday for the last 20 years, whenever we needed anything, Michael Langford check was always going to be the first check that goes into the basket. If we ever talk about stuff we need in District 12, Councilmember Lewis, you know at my school I need a lot of stuff at South Atlanta High School. I know now because of the tree that Michael Langford and Derek Bozeman had built in this community, people like Antonio Lewis, council member, he's actually a fruit off of that tree, and he's pouring into students in my classroom even today. So Michael Langford is looking down right now and wondering if I made it here on time, because he would say, "Doc, to be early is to be on time." He always called you Doc. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is unacceptable. So on behalf of the Langford family, on behalf of Let Us Make Man, on behalf of the Arthur and now Michael Langford Teen Leadership Institute, I would be remiss if I did not metaphorically fall on my knees and beg the council to do what is more than right, which is name a portion of Pryor Road in honor of the great Michael Langford.
Thank you. Mr. Cole.
Good morning. My name is Isaiah Cole. I'm 19 years old. I'm a sophomore at Georgia State University, but I was alumni of the Arthur Michael Langford Teen Leadership Institute from the summer of 2023. When I first joined, I didn't know really anything about Atlanta. Like I said, I'm not from here, but there's one thing that has been instilled in me that still remains to this day. To be on time is to be late. And that little mantra kind of changed my life. It changed how I look at relationships. It changed how I look at school. Because to be honest, if you're not showing up for yourself, then who are you showing up for? And I feel like Michael Langford showed up for everybody in this room. Even though some of us didn't get the honor to meet him, I still feel like the renaming of Pryor Road is something that is essential to this community.
Thank you. I make a motion to add to the public hearing. Motion is made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The public hearing is now closed.
We're officially out of the public hearing. I do believe there's a need to amend this. I make a motion to amend. Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is amended. Mr. Chair, the amendment attaches a written confirmation from the ATL DOT Commissioner that, as an exhibit, that 138-8D1B has been satisfied.
Thank you. We've been joined by one of the authors of this paper, Councilmember Lewis. Just want to state that for the record. Councilmember Lewis, would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
I second that motion. Motion has been made and second. And that so move will be for approval? There we go, just for the record.
As amended.
As amended. And I second that motion. Please open the vote.
The vote is closed. The vote is closed. The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable as amended.
That'll move forward to full council. Thank you. That takes us out of, you want to make a statement? Go ahead, Councilman Lewis.
Every day I drive down Michael Langford Boulevard. Every day I drive down Michael Langford Boulevard. And as I drive down that road to get to City Hall, I rode down it today, right? Because we're going to go ahead and speak it into the future. I've been thinking about the name of that road for 2 years. When Councilmember Derek Bozeman and that group sat down with us, it was one of the easiest things we could do. To hear the stories today, to know that I never had the chance to meet Mr. Langford, but to know that I am me sitting here today as a direct beneficiary of his work, to understand that the South Side has seen organizing young people from our community go, and like his college roommates say, that the moment he got there, he knew he was trying to get back to his community to help raise it. So I'm honored to be a part of this today. And you don't have to get down on your knees and beg for this. This right here was easy and it should have been done. And so thank you again for doing this. Thank you again, my colleagues, for standing with us on this and for signing on so fast.
Mr. Johnson, it takes us consent agenda first reading. Please proceed.
Item number 2, 25-01572. An ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement of Real Estate Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, as well as any other conflicting code provisions to execute Amendment number 1 to contract number listed herein, SOP, Aeroban, Airport Surface Management Systems Services, with Saab Incorporated at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport on behalf of the Department of Aviation to authorize additional funding in the amount of $142,780.00 to add an application programming interface to integrate Power BI and other software for better real-time data visualization with the Aviation Information Services IT division for the use throughout the Department of Aviation for a total overall contract amount not to exceed $4,858,930.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Item number 3, 25-01573. An ordinance by Transportation Committee to ratify services rendered in connection with agreement number listed herein, Cleveland Avenue Pedestrian Mobility Improvements with Brindley Peters and Associates Incorporated from June 28, 2025 through the execution of the amendment authorized by City Council to authorize the mayor or his designee to amend the agreement on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to extend the term of the agreement retroactively effective from June 28, 2025 through the final completion of the Cleveland Avenue Pedestrian Mobility Improvements construction project with no additional funding required, to waive Article 10 of the City of Atlanta Procurement Real Estate Code, all contract work to be charged to and paid from the fund department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Item number 4, 25-01574, an ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Department of Transportation to accept surface transportation block grant award funds from the Georgia Department of Transportation for the North Highland, Joseph E. Lowry, McClendon, and West Paces Ferry at 5 locations transportation improvement project, to authorize the Chief Financial Officer to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations in an amount not to exceed $453,980.00 for the project, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute agreements with the Georgia Department of Transportation for acceptance of grant acceptance and for other purposes. Item number 5, 25-01575, an ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive Section 2-1187 and Section 2-1292E of Article 10 Procurement and Real Estate Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to execute the First Amendment to agreement number listed herein, Group AA3 Traffic Communications Project with Lumen 8 Transportation Technologies, LLC, on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to extend the term of the agreement retroactively effective from July 26, 2025 through final completion of the project with no additional funding required, to ratify services rendered in connection with the agreement beginning July 26, 2025 through the execution of the First Amendment to the agreement and for other purposes. Item number 6, 25-01576, an ordinance by Transportation Committee to ratify the City of Atlanta's submission of an application for the fiscal year 2024 congressionally directed spending highway infrastructure program with the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration, amount not to exceed $5 million to be utilized for the implementation of the stitch capping I-75/85 in downtown Atlanta project, to accept the funding awarded, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute any agreements for the grant acceptance and participation, and to amend the fiscal year 2026 intergovernmental budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations an amount not to exceed $5,000,000 and for other purposes.
Takes us to regular agenda, second reading.
Section H, ordinance for second reading. Item number 725-01553, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in Section 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement of Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions on behalf of the Department of Aviation to 1, exercise renewal option, and 2, expand distributed antenna system coverage to other airport facilities not contemplated to the agreement, number listed herein, indoor-outdoor distributed antenna system upgrades and expansion with Cleveland Electric Uptime Sympathy Joint Venture, an amount not to exceed $13,000,000. All services will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion is made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 8, 2501554. An ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, as well as any other conflicting code provisions to execute Amendment number 1 to agreement number listed herein, passenger wait time reporting system with Zovis USA Incorporated at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport on behalf of the Department of Aviation to authorize additional funding in amount of $190,278.35 to transition the existing Zovis platform from ATL's internal network to the Zovis Aero cloud environment for a total contract amount not to exceed $1,015,389.36. All contract work will be charged to and paid from the account number listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 9, 2501555, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos to amend City Code section to be determined to provide the issuance of permits authorizing the use of household furniture, temporary structures, and/or non-permanent fixtures in the city's right-of-way when such use involves 3 or more persons or 2 or more vehicles and results in obstruction of slowing of the normal flow of traffic, to authorize the chief of police or his designee to issue such permits for a specified date, time, and location and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, the recommendation is to hold.
Motion is to hold. Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held in committee. Item number 1025-01556, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos to amend Chapter 150, Article 4, Division 4, to expand the residential permit parking program titled Vine City Residential Permit Parking Area, to waive certain requirements of City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, Sections 150-148 and 150-49, and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, the recommendation is to file.
Motion to file. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Mr. Chair, can you repeat the mover and the seconder?
I was the mover. I'll second.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item has been filed by committee. Section I, resolutions. Mr. Chair, item number 11 requires a substitute. The substitute changes the caption. May we have a motion to bring forth the substitute?
Motion to bring forward the substitute. That motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute before you. The substitute makes revisions throughout the legislation. Item number 11, 25R3983, a resolution by Councilmember Andre L. Boone, as substituted by Transportation Committee, requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on Harlan Road Southwest in order to reduce speeding and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable on substitute. Takes us to item number 12, 25R3984, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute the First Amendment to agreement number listed herein, landscaping and grounds maintenance with Russell Landscape LLC to add the Department of Aviation as an authorized user, to add funds to the agreement in the amount not to exceed $600,000.00. All contractor work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, the department requested to file this paper.
Just for the record, since there's one author, we have spoke to the author and she's in agreement with filing as well?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to file. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is filed by committee. Mr. Chair, item number 13 requires a substitute. The substitute can change the caption. May we have a motion to bring forth a substitute?
Motion to bring forward a substitute.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute before you. Item number 13, 25R3986, a resolution by Councilmember Byron D. Amos, as substituted by Transportation Committee, requesting the mayor or his designee to install stop signs at the intersection of Griffin Street Northwest and Cameron Madison Alexander Boulevard Northwest to create an all-way stop control intersection and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable on substitute. Mr. Chair, item number 14 requires a substitute. The substitute changes the caption. May we have a motion to bring forth the substitute?
Motion to bring forward a substitute. Is there a second? Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
One moment. The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute before you. The substitute makes revisions throughout the legislation and attaches Exhibit A, which is the PMA agreement, project management agreement, and incorporate the account information. Item number 14, 25R3988, a resolution by council members Liliana Battiari and Cardin Wyckoff, as substituted by Transportation Committee, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a project management agreement with the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District for the purpose of implementing sidewalk repair and improvement projects in downtown Atlanta in the amount not to exceed $645,000.00. All contract work we charge to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
My notes is to hold, but I see one of the authors here, so what would be?
Mr. Chair, we can move forward with this item. We received all the necessary attachments needed for this legislation to move forward.
Thank you. So, Councilmember Wyckoff, you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. Second.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable on substitute. Mr. Chair, item number 15 requires a substitute. The substitute changes the caption. May we have a motion to bring forth the substitute?
Motion to bring forward the substitute. Is there a second? Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Substitute before you. The substitute adds language in the caption requesting ATL DOT to coordinate with GDOT regarding the closure and conversion of the driveway and the removal of the no parking signs, as well as make revisions throughout the legislation. Item number 1525R3991, a resolution by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond, as substituted by Transportation Committee, requesting that the Atlanta Department of Transportation communicate with the Georgia Department of Transportation regarding the closure and conversion of the driveway into a sidewalk and removal of the adjacent no parking signs located at 261 Peters Street Southwest and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Yes. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable on substitute.
Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I actually have a question for the department on this. Now, I don't have any issues with this specific piece of legislation, but we have a issue actually in this community, and I see it across the city, but this idea of these vestigial curb cuts, so these curb cuts that there used to be an entryway, there used to be a garage, and then over time buildings get demolished, but that curb cut is still there. And what happens is folks use that curb cut to park a vehicle on the sidewalk, to do things that they shouldn't be doing. And I don't know, I appreciate Councilmember Bond's legislation because it got me thinking, is there anything systematically we can look at with the ATL DOT to make that less likely, especially in parts of the city that have undergone a lot of redevelopment?
Thank you for the question, Councilmember. Solomon Cavins, ATL DOT Commissioner. So there hasn't been a systematic approach to addressing all of the curb cuts throughout the city. However, we've recently completed our asset inventory of our sidewalks, and where we are finding these challenges through our maintenance program, we're addressing them one by one, but it's a recommendation that we'll take serious and consider.
So it sounds like we have at least a good sense of where they are located. Okay. I'm gonna follow up. More to follow. Thank you.
Commissioner, since we got you up there, you talked about sidewalks. In the same community on the walk in Castleberry Hills, I noticed we laid new sidewalks, and I'm about to make somebody mad, but we're cutting into these sidewalks to plant trees. So we're going from a standard width sidewalk, putting the tree bed in, which is cutting the sidewalk down beside the tree bed, probably to about 2 feet, 3 feet. So as we talk about wheelchairs and things of that nature going down our sidewalks, it'll be hard to do when you run across that dirt with trees. So can you just look into that for me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I have Deputy Commissioner Bromberg coming here, who's working with Trees Atlanta and the initiative for tree planting. So.
Okay.
Lenore Bromberg, Deputy Commissioner for ATL DOT Office of Engineering, and absolutely we recognize that potential being a concern. The details that Trees Atlanta is required to follow does provide an accessible surface that's ADA compliant and does meet the minimum requirements. They're supposed to come back in many cases, there's actually a paver system that's associated with the tree well that allows the water to get through and allow the tree to survive. And it may be that it's still under construction, but that is a requirement. We would check for them before we issue permits to them.
Thank you. I passed that on to the community. The trees wasn't there just to cut, so I passed that on to them. Thank you. Councilmember Lewis.
While we got you as well, I think around the same thing. Trees, who takes care of the trees? My wife loves the trees because she rides around the city and she sees them taken care of in other areas. People in my district don't like the trees because they're not taken care of. What I mean by that is the stuff around the who takes care of the trees?
City arborist is responsible for all the trees throughout the city. However, maintenance, if I'm not mistaken, is responsibility of the property owner in the immediate area. However, that's something we can look into for you, Councilman.
I want to make sure. So if we have a sidewalk and a tree that we plant, that Trees Atlanta planted into it, the owner of the home will have to take care of the maintenance of the tree.
Yeah, and every situation is different. However, the arborist is responsible for all of the trees planted in the city.
That changes a whole lot of things about legislation I'll be looking for. I'll tell you, because it's so expensive. A lot of my folks, it's expensive for them to take care of their curb, their sidewalk. They're already. And so I'm just thinking about the roots of the trees and the growth. And so I see a potential issue, and I may need to look at some legislation to put a halt on Trees Atlanta putting up trees in District 12 until we can find around who takes care of the trees, because folks are coming to us like we're supposed to, and you're telling me that the city doesn't.
And the arborist does take care of trees in parks.
Okay. All right. So I need to look into that legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Commissioner Cavanis.
Yep.
Run while you can. Mr. Johnson. Yes.
I'm pretty sure that Trees Atlanta, fact check me if anyone in here, but once a tree is planted by Trees Atlanta, there is a timeline at which they take care of the tree. And then after that, it then comes over into the property owner or whatever. So I think looking into that timeline is important.
Thank you. And I know that Trees Atlanta is supposed to take care of it for a while. I was wondering, after that timeline, after that 2-year period in which they take care of it, what happens? I thought it was the city, but now I know it's not the city, because I got a lot of seniors in my area who already are used to trees with mustardines or trees with pecans, and I've been asking Trees Atlanta to start planting more trees that do stuff like the ones I grew up with mustardines on it. So they're used to those type of trees. They're getting trees that don't do that, and now they're gonna figure out they have to take care of the sidewalk. And so I may need to look at what we're doing in our area. I appreciate you again for the explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Proceed.
Mr. Chair, if there is no objection from the body, can we take items 16 and 17 together?
Seeing none, proceed.
Item number 1625R3993, a resolution by Councilmember Alex One authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the city of Atlanta to execute an encroachment agreement with the Peachtree Hills Civic Association Incorporated for the installation of a fully solar powered automatic license plate reader on a 12-foot high clock pole in the Peachtree Hills Avenue Northeast right-of-way located at 380 Peachtree Hills Avenue Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30305. And for the purposes, item number 1725R3994, a resolution by Councilmember Alex One authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the city of Atlanta to execute an encroachment agreement with Peachtree Hills Civic Association Incorporated for the installation of a fully solar-powered automatic license plate reader on a 12-foot high flock pole in the Hearst Drive right-of-way located at 227 Lindbergh Drive Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30305, and for the purposes.
Motion to approve items 16 and 17. Is that second? Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. These items are favorable. Item number 1825R3998, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing funds under a contract number listed herein. AATC Business and Technical Consulting Services with Atlanta Airlines Terminal Company in amount not to exceed $2,050,687.0 for fiscal year 2026. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for the purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable. Item number 1925R3999, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the city of Atlanta to exercise the second renewal option of 1 year for the memorandum of understanding with American Airlines Incorporated for the usage of certain gates and space at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for the purposes.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion has been made second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable. Item number 2025R4000, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing a joint component guaranteed maximum price fund, an amount not to exceed $11,942,600.0 and to correct the renewal dates and resolution 25R3587 for use under 4 on-call construction management at-risk contracts for services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. All services will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for the purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable. Item number 21 25R4001, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement number listed herein, City of Atlanta Comprehensive Transportation Plan with WSP USA Incorporated on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for the development of the city's comprehensive transportation plan and associated scope for a term of 2 years with no renewal option, an amount not to exceed $2,500,000.00, with all funds to be charged to and paid from the project and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, the recommendation is to hold. The hold is pending the IPRO reports from Department of Procurement.
Motion to hold. Is there a second? Second. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is held in committee. Item number 2225R4002, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the final renewal option for a special procurement agreement number listed herein, Group AA4, Fiber Traffic Signal and Communications Project with Lumen Aid Transportation Technologies Incorporated on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for a term of 1 year, effective from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, with no additional funding required and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable. Item number 2325R4003, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the second renewal option for agreement number listed herein, emergency on-call debris removal services with Asbrit Incorporated on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for a term of 1 year, effective from December 28th, 2025 through December 27th, 2026, with no additional funding required and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 2425R4004, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an intergovernmental lighting agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for the purpose of assuming full responsibility and cost for compliance with the Georgia Utility Facility Protection Act and the operation, repair, and maintenance of the lighting system, including but not limited to damages, replacement of lamps, ballasts, luminary structures, associated equipment, conduits, wiring, surface equipment of this lighting system installed by the Georgia Department of Transportation as part of the carbon reduction lead conversion project located at 6 locations as shown in Exhibit A and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The item is favorable. Mr. Chair, we have one more item. Section K, appraisals. May I sound the caption for the appraisal?
Yes.
Item number 35. The purpose of the appraisal is to estimate the market value of a portion of an unimproved right-of-way of a public street known as Travis Street. Said property lying and being in land lot 112 of the 14th District of Fulton County, Georgia. This proposed abandonment area is hereby declared no longer useful or necessary for the public's use and convenience. As a public right-of-way, the market value has been determined to be $49,000.00. The motion is to accept the appraisal.
Motion to accept the appraisal.
Accept.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The appraisal has been accepted. Mr. Chair, that concludes our legislative items for today.
Mr. Johnson, I'm getting communications that we may be ready to move item number 31. Commissioner Cavendish, are we ready to move forward? Yeah.
Yes, I think we're ready for the Stitch legislation.
Mr. Johnson, if you'll sound it.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 3125R 3742. A resolution by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond authorizing the mayor as designee to amend the project management agreement for the second time with Atlanta Downtown Improvement District for the I-75-85 capping study, the Stitch, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute the second amendment to the project management agreements with the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District related to the Stitch and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable.
With that being said, I think they do bring us to the end of our legislative agenda. Any comments, thoughts, concerns?
Good job.
Seeing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You.